Hello and welcome back to Zelda Speedruns. We are back with even more Wind Waker action. We have Tanjo and Tweety facing off in lower bracket round 1. I am Pix, and joining me today is Koala. Koala, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing great. I'm so excited for this race. You know, it's a losers bracket round 1, game 1, I believe.
Yeah,
That sounds right.
Game 1 of the best of 3 between these two, and these are, I called them my two favorite Wind Waker runners in the race room, but it is Tanjo, probably the person that got me into this randomizer, and then Tweety, my rival from the Mini Blends tournament. Really hoping that she can represent Team Mini Blends better than I did.
Yeah, and it's been exciting seeing Tanjo obviously been around Wind Waker for a very long time now. Self-described Wind Waker rando salesman trying to get people he knows from all sorts of randomizers into the game, and Tweety, a very new runner who came in through her sister and gets to went from being in mini blends to top 2 in her group in mini blends and now in top 24. So very quick improvement from her, and it's really exciting to see. So this is going to be a fun series between these two.
Yeah, another Boomer v Zoomer matchup. Let me see what's wrong with Tweety's cropping. So
yeah, they did honor us with their names.
There we go. Hopefully that has made Tweety's a little bit better. Yeah, hope if you are a Zoomer like me, you're hoping that this is death of a Wind Waker salesman.
Oh, damn! From he's one of my favorite runners, got me into rando, to death of the Wind Waker salesman.
Exactly. Your time is over, old man.
Never seen such a face heel turn happen so quickly.
And we're off.
Let's see. Oh, a nice Thorn Fairy start. Can't do anything here yet.
Just take a look at it, I guess.
Let's see, Woodfall Helmrock, Godin Jalhala, so FF, ET, and Totji. That's the name of the dungeon.
Yep.
Bottle and Fire Mountain. Well, I think they'll both try to avoid that if at all possible.
Yeah, Mother and Child and Cliff Plat Foolish. Cliff Plat is by far my least favorite Foolish island. If it's Foolish, I wish it was not hinted.
Mother and Child and Cliff Plat both Foolish is kind of the like death to your early game plans in the hints.
Yeah.
A lot of runners like to go Mother and Child first thing, and I think we're seeing Tanjo here go outset just because no real other good options. There's always Windfall, but you kind of want to try to maybe get a couple items before you go Windfall. So
yeah, you can commit to the early Windfall, maybe knowing you're gonna have to come back, take like a 6 of 18 Windfall, and then go up to Northern Fairy. Mother and Child anyways. Yeah, go there, see the spiky, find out that it's a Foolish Tingle statue, and just breathe easy for the rest of the seed.
Now that would be great info, but most of the time when it's hinted dead, it's just like, a spoil or whatever.
Yeah.
And finding Moblin's letter immediately in Mesa's house, does Tanjo. Tweety instead opting to go for Windfall. Definitely worth happening, like you said, going there saying, I'm gonna be coming here more than once anyway, I can just get a few things out of the way here. And yeah, she is immediately turning it to night and checking Mila.
Yeah, the early Mila, let's say wallet at Beetle, which we don't have the money to get right now, but we will be back.
Yeah, nice to know it's there at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, early Mila pretty common in this season because the Fire and Ice checks are a little bit deeper.
Yeah, by starting without magic, getting the Fire Ice checks here on Windfall will take 3 items instead of 2, and then obviously wherever those items are.
To Jalhala.
That is a really boring path to Valhalla too.
Yeah, that is not that is not in any way helpful.
Almost as boring as a shield, not quite.
Yeah, we were talking pre-race when we saw the hints about like, ooh, what about like a delivery bag path to Valhalla? Because we know that Zunari has the shield. I think an interesting decision for Tweety, and I don't know how she feels about it, is we know where one of the Pictos like we know where one of the Pictos are. So if we don't see a bow, I don't know if she's gonna keep thinking about door cancel or not.
See, you say Moblins could technically be path in the chat, but it's just not worth considering at that point. You found an item that is just unquestionably path to Valhalla. Like, at that point, you write off that hint. Like, okay, I've found that hint. Like, yeah, maybe Moblins leads to a shield, but what do you, like... It's not... I don't think it's worth the brain space.
Ooh, we're getting a
diamond step early, yeah.
This is really interesting considering that we have a horseshoe path too, so we know we're going to have to come back to this area anyway.
Yeah, and Tanjo just kind of hitting us with the season 3 special here, starting with outset, going straight to diamond step early. Very, very much an old strat from the day, but I think when you get hints that kind of interrupt any and all early game plans, it makes sense. And Tweety doing Mila first, gonna pay out with that early bow.
This also solves a problem that both of the runners have of getting the salvage core, because now you can just go straight south from Windfall to Northern Triangle and get salvage and Cyclos in one go.
Yeah, and you'll have a lot of options too, like if she saves here and goes to Northern Ferry, say if Northern Ferry's dead, just soft reset back to Windfall and boom. You can sail right south. And magic on Maggie. This is definitely the seed to go Windfall first.
Yeah, Windfall first paying out. We also, where did we get the pearl that Tanjo has? That was Jaboon.
Yeah, it must have been Jaboon's.
Okay. So that's good. You don't have to worry about going into Taji for just one check now, since you know one of your pearls is bomb locked. Hop across can't hurt you.
That's true. That's very true. That is always really nice to know that hop across won't be your bombs. It's the only place in that dungeon bombs can be. And seeing them not there is, just a gift.
The peace of mind that you don't have to worry about it, because the longer you sit with like 3 pearls and no bombs, you're just like, no, you can't make me. You can't do this to me. I'm a person. I have rights. It's a completely dead diamond step.
Yeah. That's actually going to have some unfortunate implications for our hookshot. That means hookshot could be basically anywhere.
Yeah.
And he is going to be super swimming to Islet here, so if you don't like the flashing images, I'd recommend you look away. But I didn't see. What did Tingle 2 have? What did he just give us garbage?
I think it was just garbage. All I saw was
a chart. All right, that's garbage. Charts are garbage.
I think this swim is like pretty hard. It's really easy to build up like too much speed, and you need to like really kind of precisely hit this loading zone. It can be really hard if you're going too fast, and Tanjo's trying to buffer his way in and course correct.
Definitely. It looked like he overcharged a little bit trying to get the angle, but he does make it inside. The super swim is over. Meanwhile, Tweety has made her way through the maze and got Nehru's pearl. We will need those pearls. We do have Tower of the Gods, so while the pearls aren't particularly exciting to find, at least you know you need them. And what does Tanjo find in Islet? Solidly nothing. But he will be able to pick up some money, knows that wallet's on Beetle.
Okay.
So, definitely interesting. And it looks like Tweety is sailing south, so it looks like she is going to be picking up Cyclos and Salvage Core, opting to just get Northern Ferry later.
Yeah, I think this makes sense. You don't have to worry about the save scum shenanigans. You're you're just gonna grab these 2 checks and then just immediately warp back to Windfall and start doing your daytime chores.
Yeah, well, maybe. Is that we had a hinted Picto? Where was that again?
It's on Cyclos.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense then. I forgot he had that. And it looks like Tanjo going to be following in Tweety's footsteps, starting Windfall with Mila. We'll get that bow, then knows he'll be able to go get that Picto.
Yeah, and nothing that is decisively path to Helma yet. So it'll be interesting to see, where the bombs and the hammer wind up. Like they could be behind the Picto here.
True.
It could have something to do with the bow. There's our hinted Picto. That could have gotten very nasty if the bow had been a little bit grosser. Yeah, we'll see if Tanjo sticks to his guns of always gamble Pompey and Vera.
I imagine getting the bow so quickly might tempt you not to, just because...
Yeah, it's a totally unnecessary risk.
It just gets so convenient then when you're like, oh, I have a bow, I can go get that Picto immediately. But we'll see if he wants to leave Windfall. Sometimes the allure of not double dipping an island, even if it's one you can warp to, can be too tempting. I think all runners have definitely fallen for that at one point. A red rupee there from Tanjo. That was a lucky drop out of that pot.
You're gonna have plenty of money to get the wall. Another one.
Wow. Tanjo just really banking his luck for those pots.
Yeah. It's absolute luck sacker. This is absolutely disgusting. 2 1%. What are the odds?
1%? Really?
It's impossible. It's impossible to compute.
Yeah. Is it actually 1%? I didn't know that. It's not? All right. I've been bamboozled.
This is what I get for trusting Claire.
But yeah, Tanjo gonna get his bow there. I will be interested. I could see him doing either, and I have no idea which one he'll do. So I'm very fascinated which direction he'll go.
Right. So keep it tuned here to ZSR2 to find out.
And there is Tweety getting her hide and seek started. So now she has that sweet door cancel hitbox with lights on. And we'll get to see Tot.
Yeah, it's so nice doing the hide and seek with door cancel and just getting to hop through the walls, run up the slopes. It looks like Tanjo is going to do the reasonable and safe play of grab the Picto, check
also
in with the boys
opting.
and salvage.
And I think if he hadn't found a bow, he would have just done kids, I imagine. But seeing that bow so early, like, might as well get that Picto. So I definitely get the play. I think it makes the most sense, but sometimes committing to a gamble is fun.
If you win, but you don't meme, like, is it really worth it?
Well, depends on the game, I guess. But we did see Tot with another Tingle statue. So we are at 3 Tingle statues very early. So either Tingle's going to have something and that 5th Tingle statue is going to be an ET basement, or we're going to get all 5 before we leave Windfall and Ankle will have nothing. That's kind of the way of it.
You always have your contractually obligated, like, 4 Sphere Zero Tingle statues. It's just a question of, like, when or if the 5th one shows up.
Yeah. I always was a big disappointed gamer whenever I find Tingle statues that aren't the 5th. It's like, well, you don't do anything for me.
Yeah.
You don't help me. You're just the temptation of a future check.
Yeah. You're just pure potential.
Yeah, and it's usually wasted. That's the problem.
Yeah.
We're going to see. And the other thing, I think this makes the neither runner opting for the Mother and Child Western Swim with a hinted Baron. They got an easy way to pick up Salvage Core, and Salvage Core only having a Tingle statue is pretty nothing, really. So
Which, ooh, double spiky Lenzo.
Yeah, this is potentially a lot in Lenzos. That boomerang is
Purely decorative.
pretty nothing for us. Yeah, we already have the bow, so the boomerang can't really help us do anything at this point. And a bottle.
R.I.P. Fire Mountain.
Yeah, that's true. So I think now neither runner will do Fire Mountain even a little bit, but Tanjo opting not to return to Windfall, instead went to DRI, and another bottle. Wow, really ripped Fire Mountain. So that's our third bottle in Logic this seed.
Yeah, just the game just really, really did not want you to go to Fire Mountain.
Yeah, and it's even more considering only one bottle is guaranteed to be placed into Logic of the 4. Finding 3 of them, well, 2 of them and a third one hinted already is pretty wild.
It also removes some of that like late game spiky bait, which is always the worst when you're thinking about like potential Baron blockers in something like ET. Like having 2 bottles off the board feels
that
nice.
Is also very true. Oh,
more mail.
Why did the kids have Maggie's letter? Did they take it from her?
Yeah, these kids have committed a federal mail offense.
Oh god. Tanjo did store a spiky here on DRI Boulder, so we'll have to see. Ooh, oh, that's really nice for Tweety.
Yeah.
Granted, she hasn't been to Outset yet, so she doesn't have Moblin's letter yet. So.
Yeah, but she needs to turn around and start Zunari, because it is a shield, and we have ET. We are going to mail this first.
Yeah, I think that's her plan. I think this will just be a little more convenient for Tanjo down the line, since he'll get Maggie's letter right before that delivery bag, and he already has Moblins. It's not going to be the end of the world, since like I said, they will both be returning to this island anyway. It's just one of those slight like, oh dang, if only I'd gone Outset first, but you can only know that after the fact. So
yeah, having to do Zunari already means a forced double dip of Windfall, and
exactly.
I don't see a world where Tweety does not go to Outset before she's coming back to get that shield. So
meanwhile, Tanjo picking up that hinted shard at DRI Fly Across. I guess, I was in my brain for a second, I was like, why didn't he peek that? And then when he opened the chest, I was like, oh right, that was hinted. Of course he didn't peek it.
Yeah, he already knew.
Yeah. No point wasting the time peeking if you know you have to get it anyway.
Shoutouts to the Canadian education system, Tanjo being able to read and not mistaking shard for chart.
Oh, yeah.
The worst thing that can very easily happen when you're trying to read your hints very quickly.
It is a mistake everyone has made at some point, I'm sure. And it always feels bad. Pompey and Vera giving us some money, so definitely the gamblers of Pompey and Vera winning today, although I think neither runner is going to.
Yeah, and Tanjo was able to peek that chest with Ghost Ship there. That is very difficult to do. Was nothing.
Yeah, I honestly never even try, because I never feel confident in what I see, but he's leaving, so I assume he is confident. He's gonna go pick up that wallet.
Tanjo's also another console main like me, so he's probably adapted some very strong eyes from having to squint at the screen to see anything.
That is a good point. I got very confused for a second when I saw Tweety's file name as Pix. It's already thrown me.
And I have never named any of my file names after myself.
What do you normally name the file?
I don't know. It's usually whatever I'm feeling at the time.
Oh, Tanjo got that grapple from DRI Boulder, it looks like. He has a grappling hook.
Yeah.
That's going to be pretty convenient here. Fortunately, wallet mail not giving him power bracelets or bombs. That would have been the most convenient.
Yeah, he would be able to peek everything and know if he has to come back or not. There's also some storage shenanigans that you can do to get around that chest. We'll see how Tanjo chooses to play this.
Yeah. The one problem with the storage strat, with the open chest storage, is if you do end up needing the right boulder chest. At this point, he'd have to death warp on the chews, and they take a long time to kill you.
Mm.
So that is one risk of that strat. Like, the item has to be good enough to mitigate the time it takes chews to kill you from full health.
Yeah, Wind Waker is a game where enemies can't really hurt you that much.
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's our other shield in paw print.
Yeah, logically, we do need both. We'll see. Pending light arrows, we might actually hard need both.
And also, just most ET seeds, you really would rather have mirror than not. Looks like Tanjo's not opting to do any kind of storage shenanigans here. Definitely makes sense. And finds the bait bag.
Yeah, that'll be convenient. We are going to have to go back to do Earth Temple at some point, so we have that when we come to Outset, so we can get the classic, big pig into ET.
And equipping that Picto, leaving the island, makes me think he's heading straight back to Windfall. There's really no other reason you might need that item. And
might have been
meanwhile,
for the delivery bag.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. But meanwhile, Tweety gonna head down to Outset, pick up that wallet from Beetle. A nice quick 20 for the wallet. And she'll be able to save Grandma. So while Tanjo will be able to turn in Moblin's letter on his first trip here, Tweety will be able to save Grandma and check Grandma mail. So some of their orders kind of just even out on a grouping up checks.
Yeah, I also remember from my time at Mini Blends that Tweety was a big DSE believer. That also might be balancing out after this. We'll see what she chooses to do. I don't know if her opinion on it has changed in S6.
I'm gonna be honest. S6 has made me more of a DSE believer, honestly. This seed's a terrible example of it because it was empty, but so many seeds I've seen, Diamond Step just has an item I would have wanted an hour ago if I had done it without hookshot, so...
I remember Qual 8, I think, was that one. 7 or 8, one of the really late ones. It was just like a stratification of people who did DSE and people who did not. Like the
oh, yeah, it's 100%. There was magic in there. It was magic. I remember exactly. It was magic and a Picto. Meanwhile, hookshot was on Pompey and Vera.
Yeah, I think it was the last one because I think I was just watching it work and just kind of like seeing the finishes come in. I had a little spreadsheet of how many points like the people that could jump me would like need to jump me, and just kind of watching myself fall into the low 20s.
It was just, I just remember it blew my mind. Anyway, Tweety getting her command melody there. That's just going to be really her Pathogel Hollow. She'll be able to see Grandma Mail, though. We haven't seen that yet. She'll get that, I think it was money from Wallet Mail, but first up is Grandma, and Grandma gave us nothing.
A little bit of love. But yeah, I think we're getting a gold feather, maybe? I don't know. It's junk.
So, Fire Mountain, pretty useless. Oh, it was a gold feather. Nice memory. Grandma's love does mean nothing to me. It's less valuable than her soup. That heart container doesn't refill my magic when I miss 3 shots in Puppet Ganon 1.
Right, and this is going to be Din's Pearl for Tweety. So both runners will be just waiting for that second Picto to have access to Tachi.
Yeah. Well, and depending on where that Picto is, Tachi might be happening early, Tachi might be happening late. There's...
Yeah, none of our dungeons hinted Baron. But yeah, Gomo Tachi is really nice. Gomo DT is really nice.
I'd take a Gomo DT over a Gomo Tachi, though.
Yeah, ET Go mode is the biggest improvement in any dungeon.
I think you're probably right, yeah. Well, it's just because an ET full clear is so long. So...
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of like Swamp Palace from Link to the Past in that way, where it has the left side, which is like absolute ass, and people have like very strong opinions of like always do, never do left side. And then also being the dungeon that benefits the most from a go mode clear of it versus other dungeons in the game.
It saves, like on a good clear, it saves like 8 to 10 minutes really over the full clear. The go mode does. It's pretty
It's also just fun.
That's also true. Getting to just store your way through the entire dungeon. We love
Yeah.
it. But Tweety opting not to go for DSC, at least not yet. Gonna go peek Headstone. She doesn't have that bait bag from Paw Print yet, so she won't be able to get this. But she will know if it is something.
Yeah, it could be.
I could not
could-
tell what the hell that was.
No, but she has seen enough.
Yeah.
And she has marked it off on her personal tracker, so I think it was nothing.
All right, yeah. Then I'll trust her eyesight over mine. Obviously, her view of the game is going to be bigger than ours on this commentary page. So,
Yep.
so if she's confident she knows what she's is, wow, that sentence got away from me. If she's confident she knows what it is, I'll take her word for it.
Yeah. So we're just gonna see the two runners basically cover each other's steps right now.
They kind of went on different paths for all of this early game thus far, but are reconverging the total of what they've done. All right, Tweety just picked up that bottle Tanjo got. Tanjo with his door cancel here, about to pick up that bottle Tweety got. So,
yeah, I'm interested to see, I guess, what the solution to this bottleneck is going to be, because we don't really have a lot left. I'm thinking we got to be thinking something like probably that Moblin's Letter turn in.
yeah, maybe, which would be a big advantage here for Tanjo. And Tweety opting to hit the bombs with the boomerang instead of the bow. Now, fun little trick about that is when you're in the boat, the boomerang actually has a larger lock-on range than on land, so you can actually hit those bombs from the boat with the boomerang. So,
yeah, that was news to me. I think I learned that from somebody on commentary. I'd been jumping out like a sucker, and you can like barely reach it.
yeah, that's one of those tricks that feels life-changing when you're like, oh, I don't have to be standing directly under the boulder to blow it up with the boomerang. What a treat!
This has just saved me so much time.
And then Tweety also did there, after the boomerang hit the bomb, if you pull out your Wind Waker, it forces the boomerang back to you immediately, and you get control of Link again instead of waiting for the boomerang to come back. Ooh. So just some of those little optimizations.
Yeah, I love those like really sweaty frame savers. Like that's some of my favorite stuff.
Another big one that can help you with like a bad boomerang throw, if you slash your sword, it forces the boomerang to come back to you. That doesn't help in the boat, but just in general, if you're ever using your boomerang. And there is Tweety's Hinted Shard. Meanwhile, Tanjo got that boomerang and second bottle up in Lenzo's. Just going to finish up hide and seek to get Maggie's letter in his delivery bag.
And so Tweety did equip the telescope, so this is going to be a crescent peak.
Yeah. Again, just retreading each other's steps at this point.
Yeah, I believe that she's not going to have to deal with Ghost Ship. I think she passed time for Grandma Mail.
I think you're right, yeah. Because she started with Mila, then made it day for kids, and then so yeah, her Ghost Ship would be at Diamond Step right now, actually. Maybe that is why she opted not to go there. Maybe she's hoping she might find Ghost Ship chart before heading to Diamond Step.
I am never hoping that I find Ghost Ship chart.
You don't want to do it, huh? I'd say they have with a bow, they have a pretty decent setup for doing Ghost Ship at this point. Obviously, you'd want Leaf and Magic, which they have their Magic, so if you could just Leaf Pump across Ghost Ship, it's easiest, but with a bow, it's not that bad.
Yeah, trying to take a little bit of inventory of our logical checks here to get out of this bottleneck. I think we have Moblin's Letter turn in, I think we have BPR, and I think we have Angular Peak. I'm not sure.
We also have Tree Branch at Forest Haven.
Oh, Tree Branch, yep.
Yeah. But we are about to see one of those here from Tanjo up here, just getting his cafe bar postman cutscene, and then he's gonna go give Maggie that letter.
And Tweety did mark off Great Fish, so that one is dead. So we don't have to come back.
She peeked it, and it was definitely a wooden chest. But Moblin's Letter turn in, Maggie delivery reward giving nothing. So we are even further down. So I actually think, I think our only locations in Logic right now are Tree Branch and Angular Peak.
Yeah.
Because
no members of the Ang Gang playing today.
While they will be able to get Mirror Shield on Zunari, there's nothing we can do with it yet. We have no way into Angular Cave.
Yeah.
BPR is not in Logic because the bait bag was bomb or power bracelet locked in Paw Print. Yeah, so that's a check that is available to Tanjo right now, at least on his tracker, but logically, he's still not found it yet. So, I mean, all we know for BPR is that we won't find one of bombs or power bracelets there. It's not the biggest clue in the world, but it is technically an out-of-logic check.
Yeah, and it's something that you could kind of clean up with Forest Haven, but it's still a diagonal sale. It's you probably are trying to greed out like the hammer or the ability to also do Bomb Island at the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of a rough position to be in here for them, because with no reason to go into Cliff Plat, you kind of lose the I can just take a storage to break into either Thorned or BPR. In this case, it'd be Thorned since they have the grapple to break into BPR otherwise. But
yeah, this is
without a great way to store a chest, yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, this is why I say that Cliff Plat's my least favorite foolish. If Cliff Plat's going to be foolish, I want it to be unhinted, because you know that like you're never going to lose time in that scenario. Everybody is going to do Cliff Plat.
Almost certainly, yeah. And Tweety heading to check Angular Peak. That's a good point. She hasn't marked grapple on her own personal tracker yet. So Tweety does not realize she has that grapple. And that looked like a nothing chest there at Angular
Forest
Peak.
Haven's the answer?
Yeah, it looks like Forest Haven top of Tree Branch is our only logical location.
She'll get the Moblins, let her turn in and pick up the Mirror Shield. We're still going to have to come back here again because we know that Minenko has Roar's Pearl.
Yeah. The only downside to this right now is if top of Tree Branch is exactly the Picto, pretty much.
Yeah. But even then, like, we know that doesn't open anything because we had a Bomb Lock Pearl. I guess we get the mail, and that's it. It's just
that's true. Yeah, the mail. It'd have to be the mail. You're right. No, you're 100% right.
I'm sorry I missed that. Can you say that again?
You're 100% right.
Okay,
if you make me say it again, the percentage goes down.
Okay, I'll come back and clip it later.
But yeah, so what are we thinking might be on top of Tree Branch right now? My money is either on bombs or hammer. Just one of the two.
Yeah, I would say probably bombs, maybe a leaf, because that would give us top of Kamana.
It'd also give us headstone.
Yeah,
sorry, not headstone, horseshoe. The other H1 around outset.
Which is path too.
That is true. That's a good point.
Yeah, vanilla leaf would be pretty gross.
It would be gross, but in this case, they're kind of, we know at least, they're kind of just railroaded into that at about the 30-minute mark, which 30 minutes for a vanilla leaf is not nearly the worst time to get it, or around 30 minutes.
Yeah, I am never going to fault anyone for taking a big ol' hit of hopium and hoping to not have to do that check without leaf.
It's not the worst with grapple. You know, you can jump up onto Beetle and Wind Waker dive under the island and skip a lot of the annoying Bako Baba stuff and the grapple points and...
Yeah. It's also one of those checks where, like, if you get to it really late, like, you probably also feel fairly confident that your opponent got to it pretty late. Like you don't feel terrible about getting bottlenecked into that particular check.
Last location top of tree branch, very rarely do people check that early. So it's frequently not going to you can I think you're right. You can safely bet the other person last location to that. And Tanjo here peeking top of headstone did confirm for me at least it was a joy pendant.
Yeah, and you also have with Cliff Plat dead, like there's not really a good way to peek small island. You could peek small island and then get like if you know that tree branch is your only check, you feel more amenable to doing it without leaf.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean at this point, any other check Tanjo goes for would be super out of logic. And he like he's following his logic at this point. He's like, I know tree branch is something, and yeah, here he is. He's diving under Forest Haven with Beetle.
Yeah, I think the only other thing he has right now is Angular Peak. And I understand the aversion, since you know where your mirror shield is.
Yeah. And because, like, this is just on the way to Angular Peak. And, looks like Tweety, yeah, still hasn't noticed she has that grapple. So she is out of logic. Gonna warp to outset by bait, and I assume head to Diamond Step to do Diamond Step early. But the longer she takes to notice that grapple, the more top of tree branch might hurt her.
Yeah, she might. She may be planning to go for. Oh, she's checking her inventory. But she might be planning to go for Needle Rock too.
That's true. She does have with that bait bag now. She can get. She can get one chest on Needle Rock, which is usually the one you most desperately want to skip bait bag for. That we use bait bag for. Oh, that is Note to Mom on Tanjo with a very, very nice bulb skip. That is harder than it looks. Definitely a little tricky. And Note to Mom, huh?
It's a big gamble, like the FF window jump. You gamble to save, 2 seconds versus losing like 40.
Yeah.
And you just decide when you feel confident enough on the trick that's going to be a net positive. But now we know this has to be something.
Yeah. If this is bombs or hammer, I'm gonna still say I won. Right? If one step removed, like,
yeah,
I just count it.
Off the backboard and in.
Meanwhile, Tweety getting her first try octo jump to get into Diamond Step early. Very, very nice.
Yeah. Very practiced on this trick.
Oh, it was Vanilla Leaf with extra steps. I was wrong.
Just some red tape that you have to go through. Mail off a few forms.
Tanjo gonna opt to try and peek.
Yeah, he couldn't see it from that angle.
Yeah.
We're lost in the sauce. There we go.
That looks like nothing to me.
Yeah. Looks like nothing to him, too.
Yeah, and he is instead heading down to... oh, no, it wasn't nothing to him. I could have sworn that looked like a wooden chest on my screen, but...
I did not see anything either.
But he is opting to go into the Cyclone, so... Again, I'm just going to say, if he thinks he saw something, he's probably right. His view of the game is much bigger than mine. So yeah, what does that leaf do for us explicitly? We got headstone. Not headstone. Why do I keep doing that? Horseshoe.
Yeah, horseshoe, which is path. We have top of waterfall.
Small island. And ultimately Angular Cave, but Tanjo has not picked up that mirror shield yet, so...
Yeah. And it looks like Tweety is also making the correct play.
Yeah, well, I think she's out of... I think she's out of logical locations.
Yeah, I agree. I think horseshoe's definitely what you gotta do.
I think for Tweety, the obvious play here is go check Angular Cave, just since she has the mirror shield already. But then after that, horseshoe, just with the path hint.
Yeah, and that is going to be like 45 seconds that Tanjo saves on only sailing that way once.
Tweety having a little trouble finding the top of the island there, but had a great recovery I've never seen before, where she refilled her air by falling to a lower water.
Yeah, I know that this was because she and I talked during the qualifiers. This was a trick that she did not know about at the beginning of qual, so it's been part of the learning process for people that came up through mini blends, having to add on things like island puzzles and all these additional checks that were not in the beginner settings. But those are the bombs.
Wow, yeah, there's our bombs, Tanjo. Like I said, I trusted his eyes more than mine there for that peak, and oh boy, was he right. That's another letter for Tanjo here. Sick red rupee.
Yeah, that's a 1% chance.
That is...
Oh no.
Oh no, Tweety. Definitely think she's a little upset about that one. Just didn't hold forward long enough. But
yeah, a few frustration shield flicks.
Yeah, we've all been there. Tanjo sailing up to Bomb Island. I'd also like to point out, I've been really thinking about spheres a lot lately, ever since your race versus Jarhead, where you had a Sphere 16 Ganon. And a lot of the races I've seen on ZSR lately have had, like, you know, Sphere 5 Ganon, Sphere 6 Ganon. This one, that was a Sphere 5 Bomb Male, so I think this is going to be a pretty high Sphere seed.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. I think things are about to get weird. Yeah, but that comes with the caveat that Jarhead and I opted into Dungeon and Key Lunacy.
Yeah,
and we just had some ridiculous DRC keys.
Yeah, your DRC keys were all... a lot of items were behind their DRC keys, ultimately, so that's what shot it up to 16, but...
Yeah, which I guess is worth mentioning. These two players did not opt into any runners agreements, but if you have been following the tournament, you do know that is an option where each runner can propose an additional setting to go on. That was something that we thought was fun. I actually really enjoyed those settings. I thought Dungeon and Key Lunacy really had like some fun synergy.
Definitely. Meanwhile, Tweety getting that note to Mom, gonna find her leaf almost immediately, so that'll be nice. And then Tanjo did get into Bomb Island, did see that there was a spiky chest up there, so gonna have to play some basketball. Do you think it's the last bottle?
Oh, I hope so.
Oh, he killed the Magtail. Yep. That's always the risk. So doing this with the Hero Sword, you have to do a jump slash to actually knock the Magtail down in one hit. But if you're too late on the jump slash, you'll just get the parry, which one hit kills them.
Yeah, sometimes you can try to throw like the bomb out there, but it's always so awkward to like time the bombs. At least in like the first room, it's so consistent that you know you can basically pull it and chuck one to the right and get that guy, but it's weird when there's two of them up here.
Oh yeah, but also the bomb, like for a lot of them, you don't know which direction they're gonna fly. So if they fly into the lava, it's like, well, that was a waste of time. Tweety getting that leaf, that obnoxious vanilla leaf with extra steps.
Yeah, also going to opt to peek this.
Definitely, I could see just a tiny bit of the chest there, but she's sailing to the Cyclone, so she saw it.
Yeah.
Although this is one of the more annoying chests to get when you like have already done Tree Branch on single magic specifically. With double magic, you can just take the Cyclone and actually just fly straight to the island.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Like, it's how you would get over there, but yeah, you have to stop at the upper level.
I'm pretty sure it's possible to fly straight there with single magic, but it's like very tight. So it's like if you take a little bit too long in the Cyclone or start a little bit too far back.
He's too low, I think. This was a trick that I definitely really struggled with learning. I call it like the backdoor entry to Forest Haven, but it's...
Yeah, that maybe Shoal Void?
No, I think you gotta hit around like the midpoint to get a Void.
I am always hopeful that I'll Void. That's what it is. Tanjo, yeah, fighting Cabana D over there in BPR. I'm really curious where their hookshot's gonna wind up being this seed. Because hookshot, logically now, we know hookshot is only logical for getting to Ganon. There is... Basically, hookshot could be anywhere. Hookshot is essentially the third bow at this point.
Yeah, it can get really gross. We know that it's not in Hyrule and it's not in the GT maze, but it can still wind up in some pretty disgusting places like left side ET.
Left side ET, Baito Mail, bottom ET, or they'll just get lucky and it'll be like big key chest and Tower of the Gods, and you're always forced to get it anyway.
Yeah, the stone tablet.
Meanwhile,
like just one of those nice ones.
Oh, Tanjo is going to... He's at the lookout platform on Thorned Ferry that requires you to blow up the cannons to spawn a chest. He's going to blow up the cannons, then store that chest and break into Thorned Ferry. Definitely not a strat you see very often in any setting that doesn't have lookout platforms and Great Fairies on, which would be these. We don't have lookout platforms on. But I think he just, since he got BPR there, he really doesn't want to not get Thorned Fairy too, since there's no other time to really come back here.
Yeah, it is a 2-quadrant sail from basically anywhere to get over to Thorn.
Yeah. This is a super, like a fairly, I guess not super, a fairly niche strat that I don't know if Tweety would know to go for.
Yeah, I did not even know that this lookout platform existed. So
yeah,
my knowledge of lookout platforms is up to like 7 now.
There's so much game knowledge stored in lookout platforms, especially since we never have them on in season settings. Mm-hmm. So like you have to play a lot of all sanities or like just seeds with a lot of settings turned on. Yeah, and it's not that I don't think she doesn't know you can store platforms. It's more just like, well, the idea of, I know there's a lookout platform there. I know how quickly to spawn the chest. I'm going to do that. Unfortunately for Tanjo, it was a red rupee, so if Tweety just says, screw that, I'll last location it, it'll actually benefit her a lot. So that, you know, the forbidden knowledge of all sanity has not benefited Tanjo this day. But that being said, she did sail to Bomb Island. If she goes from here to BPR, it might be in her head. I don't know. Or she might be saying, I'll last location Thorn Fairy if I don't find Hammer.
Yeah, we now know that the bait bag's in Logic, so we know that the check-it BPR's in Logic. But neither of them saw the other boulder, right? Oh, Tweety was going for the leaf strat.
I've never seen this work. I'm sure there's a video demonstrating it somewhere.
She actually did it in the race against Jarhead. It was insanely sick.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, Tweety is also the only person that I've seen do it in a run.
Yeah, that is sick. I didn't even know it was possible until people were talking about it. I guess it was after her race. I just knew it was recently. I didn't realize she did it in the race versus Jarhead. That's sick.
Yeah, it's a fairly recent discovery. People are still learning more about Wind Waker every day, which is kind of messed up. When I started playing this game, I wasn't informed I was going to have to learn new strats.
You're like, this game's 20 years old. Surely all the strats are known. That worked for Link to the Past, right?
Yeah, surely we found all the strats.
And then...
Yeah, then the strat factory opened back up again.
Looks, Tanjo just did his trading quest. Did he go down to Islet? No.
He's already done Islet, so I think he's going to...
He did already do Islet. That's right, it was nothing. He swam there.
Or Needle Rock.
Yeah, he's going to Needle Rock, gonna...
In my head,
at least peak Needle Point. Yeah, I can see that. It's because it's Needle Rock and then Rock Spire is right next to it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. He's gonna peek that with a telescope. I didn't get a good look, and evidently neither did he. That is a solid nothing there at the Needle Rock chest.
Alright, so I think this is going to be a play to horseshoe. I wonder if Tweety's going to do outset fairy. Nope. Okay. But Tanjo is going to go visit the queen.
He's gonna go to the worst check in this seed.
I don't think we need to say anything we can't take back here, Koala, right?
The fairy is fine. It's getting to her that sucks. She wants to be like your guardian angel on your starting island. Couldn't she have picked a better place to be?
No, Koala's well aware.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, the number one outset fairy stan in Wind Waker.
Yeah, and I might be the number one hater.
No. The duality of man.
This is like the modern day retelling of The Odd Couple.
Yeah, this is basically like Crossfire.
True. I know what that means.
All right, we're gonna go for this cheeky little storage.
Ooh, got it.
Yeah, it's fast if you can get it first try. Yeah.
Pretty much. Tweety opting to do leafless golf despite having leaf.
Yeah,
Oh, that sea hat's being an ass. Ooh, not getting the jump slash. I could try to diagnose what went wrong there for Tweety's that trick, but I get that trick I have so much trouble with that trick sometimes that I'm not gonna bother. I might just be wrong.
Yeah, I never learned the jump slash setup.
Outset fairy coming in with a big L though. Let's rejoice.
Yeah, the rare outset fairy L.
Looks like Tweety's opting to instead play golf here.
Stepping back to the tee box.
Oh no! Her angle was just a little bit off there, so
Sliced it left a little bit.
I'm relatively certain Tweety's a little bit too far back for the jump slash strat. But like I said, I so rarely first try that trick that I don't think I should spend too long trying to diagnose it, because my diagnosis might be wrong. Oh, that sea hat. Oh, she needs to blow it one more time. Come on, Tweety. Oh, it's too far. It's out of her blow range.
Hanging right there.
Yeah, and much like Alex said, if you have a bow, or my favorite is boomerang, you can target the seed and knock it off so that it respawns immediately
through the vine walls.
You could shoot around them, walk to the side and shoot past them. Tanjo also missing the nut into the hole.
Yeah, at least hit the water hazard.
Yeah, gets it that time. Holding hands at golf. What a story. And that should be good for Tweety. Yeah, that one looked straight. It was a perfect putt. Heading straight to the hole, lots of power behind it.
And this is Godin, so I think this has to be our second picto.
Or Ghost Ship chart. Okay, there it is. It is in fact the second picto.
Yeah, so we now have complete access to Tachi.
So we know Tanjo has to go to Maneko to pick up that pearl, which it looks like he's opting to do right now, and Tweety following right behind him. Do we think they'll go Paw Print Eastern Fairy before going Tachi, or will they?
I think I would clean up those two, but there's not that much that makes Tachi faster, and they also may both be feeling a little bit antsy because it's getting close to 1 hour and you haven't set foot in the dungeon yet.
That's true. I was just wondering, because you could go Paw Print, Eastern Fairy, and then Tachi, or you could do Tachi and then sail up to Eastern Fairy, Paw Print. I think I can honestly see a reason for either. Tweety taking a dip at the potions shop. Oh, she was getting her pearl mail. That was very smart.
Oh, yeah, it's really heads up.
Yeah. I thought she just rolled and too close to the door.
Okay,
But
yeah,
that
her
definitely
like
makes sense.
her file name on the mail just like confused me. I was like, "Dear Pix, okay, but
What did I do?
if this is about my student loans, I'm not here."
Luckily, Tanjo's is far enough away from me that I'm not getting confused. His Kowawala. And Tanjo is opting to go Pop Rent, and then I assume Eastern Fairy after it, but Tweety going straight to Tot G, so we see a little bit of both ideas from either runner. Now, if Tweety goes straight to Eastern Fairy after Tot G, that's what I said. If she doesn't, what I said holds no bearing. But
I appreciate the equip over the sail while the sail was out too, to just coast into Tachi for the last little bit.
Yeah. I appreciate the equip over the sail just because I see too many runners leaving sail on while they're in a dungeon. And those are power bracelets from Tanjo. Bomb-locked power bracelets.
Very interesting.
That was... I imagine we will see Big Pig, but not until he's ready to go into Earth Temple, which he definitely is not right now.
Yeah, we have the means to do all of it, but we're also still on our first sword.
We actually don't have the means to do all of it. We don't have our Skullhammer yet.
Oh, that's right.
Tweety finding a guaranteed small key on floor 1 here. Now we'll just have to see, is there another one on floor 1? Tanjo sailing south to Eastern Fairy.
Probably also going to wind up in Todd G after this.
Yeah, I imagine. I think, while you might want a Master Sword or Fire Ice for Taji, at a certain point, it's just like, Taji has so many more checks than anything left in the overworld that you're almost certainly going to find something you need there.
Yeah. So we have our 4th Tingle statue. We're just waiting for the final one to drop.
Also, shoutouts to when I was talking about getting a bunch of... That was 3 Sphere 0 Tingle statues, followed by a 4th Sphere 6 Tingle statue.
Yep.
So... definitely going to be an interesting seed for Sphere Logic.
So,
and
nice
Eastern
thing about this...
Fairy with our hook shot.
Ooh. Yeah, we don't have to worry about the awful hunt for that at the end.
Or potentially hovering.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tanjo...
I don't know how practiced Tanjo is on hovers. I know he has done them in the past, but I don't know. You know, those are a trick that if you're not practiced on them, you definitely don't want to go for them.
Yeah, it feels like a very like high risk, low reward thing to be going for, especially with.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, especially when there's, depending on how many locations you have left, if you don't have like that many locations left, it can be really easy for that to become a negative value play. But
Yeah.
Tweety's opted to skip hop across.
Pretty common play, you know, just kind of hoping it's a key. If it is a key, you get to totally skip it. If it's not a key, it's only like 10 seconds or so slower to skip it now, to skip it than get it now. You're basically saving a single save warp if you get it now instead of later. But that save warp is mitigated by, if it's a key, you could just skip it.
Yeah.
No matter what key it is. So definitely it makes sense as a play. But pretty common Tot G clear here.
Yeah, we don't have any hints about any of the checks in Todd G. There are a couple that are eligible to be a sometimes hint, but we're flying completely blind here.
Yeah. Definitely fine, though, because I think Tot G is pretty safely just where your logic's going to be. Obviously, we know Big Pig's now in logic. Angular Cave is in logic, but Tot G, also in logic, also has way more checks. So,
yeah,
when you're getting kind of into a mid game like they are in, where you can go to a bunch of one-off checks on island or a check dense dungeon, the heads up play is to just follow your density. It's gonna pay off more than it's not.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's just trying to. This is something that you have to do.
Exactly.
It would be great if you could do it at the end of the seed, just to put you right outside the warp. But that's 15 seconds. It's really not worth putting off.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm trying to think about it, because hammer's kind of the big item, the where are you item for both these runners right now. Hammer would put all of Forsaken Fortress in logic. Hammer's going to put all of... actually, not all of. Hammer's going to put a lot of Earth Temple in logic, and then, depending on small keys, a second bow would put all of it in logic. But I'm trying to think, where would a bad spot for this hammer be? And honestly, the answer is just Earth Temple.
Yeah, we also have an unresolved windfall to Helma path. Because our bombs were just locked by... Oh, no, we have our bombs were magic locked. So we're good.
Our bombs were magic locked, and our hookshot was magic locked. Because hookshot was bomb power bracelet locked, power bracelets were bomb locked, so magic locked all of it.
Yeah.
And welcome on in, Raiders from Zelda Speedruns. We are getting a nice losers bracket round 1, game 1 between tanjo3 and Tweety.
Yeah, both of our runners have had to deal with a vanilla leaf with a little bit of extra work involved.
Yeah.
With Note to Mom on Tree Branch. And now they have converged again on Tower of the Gods, which is going to be the first dungeon for both of them.
Definitely, yeah. I think the worst hammer location right now would just be ET left side, either directly there or locked there. Maybe it...
Left side ET would be extremely, extremely gross.
Ooh, Tanjo missing the platform with the statue. Ooh, Tanjo missing the platform with the statue.
But very surprisingly, we still don't have another sword or another bow yet.
Yeah, that is interesting. And we know Hyrule is dead, right? There's nothing in Master Sword Chamber. There's nothing in Ganon's Tower Maze. So, very interested on where those bows are going to be. We do still have the rest of this dungeon. There's a lot of checks left to see. And then we do still have 2 more dungeons. Forsaken Fortress, kind of a half dungeon, I'll give you that. But, there's several checks in the dungeon. Then there's the mail after the dungeon. And then same is true for ET. So, I think our dungeons are going to be pretty loaded. Because we also still are missing 3 shards. Yeah,
we still need 3 overworld shards. The hookshot is at Eastern Ferry. The power bracers are at... they're bomb locked in Paw Print. Tanjo opted to... They converged on Golf, which was the deluxe Picto to get Aurora's Pearl from Maninko. Tweety went straight to Tachi, which is why she's a little bit further ahead in the dungeon. Tanjo opted to clear those 2 overworld islands on his path to Tachi. So Tweety will likely be cleaning those up right after this dungeon.
I imagine her plan, because this actually the shortest sail to Eastern Ferry is from Tower of the Gods. So I imagine her plan is to just sail there from Tower of the Gods and then get Paw Print right after. And there's our big key on the Dark Knot mini boss. So now our runners desperately hoping to just not see another key chest. Because if we don't see another key chest, that means there's another small key and hop across floating boxes, and we can safely skip that.
And while we're at 1 hour, just want to give a shout out to our 2 runners, Tweety and Tanjo, who have been putting on a great race for us so far. And also my co-commentator, Koala, and then our 2 trackers, Plank Sai and Lyric, for helping make this possible.
And meanwhile, we're going to see Tanjo still about a statue behind here in Tot G, but he did clear those overworld checks that Tweety didn't right after they both got their pearl at roughly the same time, so...
Yeah, the patented tanjo3 second statue setup.
Hey, you know, it works. That's the thing. I know he, well, I've spoken too soon. I'm just gonna take back the thing I was about to say and not say it at all.
And we'll fix that in post.
Instead, opting to go for Crit Mohop here. One of several command melody skips. Command melody skip can be such a finicky trick.
Yeah, it's I never noticed until right now, like, how small the Linkle model's feet are.
Oh yeah. That's, you know, whenever I see models with especially really big feet, and I'm like, all of my setups use Linka's feet. That's all of my setups are using those feet. So when I see things like the Melon or the Chocobo that have massive feet, I'm like, I don't know how to do anything.
The old clown shoes. All right, so we are going to go now for command melody skip.
Yeah, Tanjo just saying, I've screwed it up 2 times voiding, and 1 time I threw the statue by accident. Screw it, let's just get to this check. All right, let's not get to this check. Let's just get the statue across.
Yeah, this is having a moment of clarity and not just being stubborn and chasing like the sunk cost of the trick.
It's very much a, I am frustrated and I don't want to sit here voiding for 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Which I respect.
Yeah, there's definitely times where you fail something and you're like, no, I am going to prove to myself right now that I can do this.
Speaking of which, Tweety was having some trouble getting that ledge grab. Ooh, wow, that magic.
Yeah.
And she opted to instead just shoot the eye to make the platform rise up. Definitely kind of both runners experiencing the same emotion at the same time. And there's a sword.
I did not see what was at the top of this room. Was it the last key chest?
I also didn't see. I assume it's either a key chest or nothing based on the fact that she's not going for it.
Yeah, I guess we will see when Tanjo spawns the chest. Hopefully it is not a key chest. Just a boring old chest.
Keys are just such assholes.
It's...
Oh my god. Like, this room is one of the reasons I say flying enemies in Wind Waker suck.
Yeah, it's so rude.
They won't kill you, but they will kill your run.
Okay, thank you, sir. May I have another?
P-hats are some of them. It's just every flying enemy in this game will find new and exciting ways to troll you. And I say new, they're all just knocking you down. But
yeah. The one I always remember is the P-hats in like Wind Temple when you're trying to like clip into the basement, just like taking your target.
Yeah. The other big shout out one, this one's a little less dangerous now with CTMC than it used to be back when we had to open every chest, but the Keese in Earth Temple 3rd Crypt. If while you were going for Song Sun skip, if you had stored the chest in there and the Keese knocks you out of bounds, well, have fun save warping and bringing Medley, because that's your only option right there, really. Especially because back then we got every chest, so there were no chests to store.
Yeah, it's I think probably the only use of the boomerang we would see from either of these runners. It's a very effective way to knock down some of those annoying flying enemies.
Oh, for sure.
I'm sorry, I have to step away for 1 second.
You're perfectly fine. Meanwhile, here we're gonna see Tweety finishing off grabbing her third statue. Just one more play. Okay, the Keese didn't troll her here. She's good. No more Keese in this part of the dungeon. There's one more flying enemy in the dungeon, and it's like 2 rooms from now, but whatever. Tanjo here. It looked like that was a wooden chest that Tanjo just spawned up there, so not the last key chest, which I think should confirm. Yeah, that does in fact confirm that hop across was a small key, unless there was another small key chest I just missed somewhere, but that I'm pretty sure that confirms hop across just a small key, so that's really nice for both runners. Get to fully skip hop across. Tanjo also getting trolled by the Keese. They knocked him just straight back into the water as soon as he jumped on the ladder. So that's nice. That's nice of them. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Keese. God, I hate Keese. And it looks like, ooh, this is a forced spiky chest here in TWWR Big Key Chest. Always nice. This is one of the chests you're just forced to open if you have to get to Godin. So we'll get to see what that is in just a moment. Tweety having a little trouble getting the ledge grab. It looks like she's letting go of her leaf just a tad too late. Ooh, that running out of magic just made it so she couldn't let go of leaf any later. And that's the last Tingle statue. Wow. So those 3 Sphere 0 Tingle statues followed by 2 Sphere 6 Tingle statues up here in TWWR. And Tweety out of magic, but no fire ice arrows to fight the hands in Godin anyway, so not much magic would do for you here.
I am back. Did we
Welcome
get
on
anything
back.
at the top of TWWR?
We got our last Tingle statue.
Oh, great. I hate it. And I guess we also get resolution on whether or not that was a key chest at the top of floating platforms.
Yeah, top of floating platforms, not a key chest, so that does in fact confirm hop across floating boxes with another small key.
Good skip from both runners.
So yeah, definitely showing off the reason why you want to skip it. If it's a big key, it can be nice to have, you know?
Yeah.
But as soon as that's a small key, it's like there was 0 reason in the world to pick up this chest.
Especially with also no fire and ice too.
Yeah.
But
It's definitely, yeah, I think... Oh, go ahead.
Unfortunately, we are going to have to pick up some snot arrows through this fight.
Oh, yeah, she was very low on arrows, wasn't she? It looks like... I think she's only on phase 2 right now? Unless she did a whole phase while I was talking about the Tingle statue?
This is phase 2.
Okay, that means she'll need another... She will need another snot arrow drop. Now oh, she missed that first arrow. I was gonna say, if she hits both hands once, they will be at 1 health. Because when he drops snot arrows, any dead hands will respawn. So when you had 2 arrows, what you could do, instead of shooting one hand dead, you could shoot both hands once. And so then instead of getting a respawn, you just have 2 hands be
We're gonna have to take another round of snot arrows. Missed a few shots.
At least his eyes are open now, so... The hands will come alive, might troll L targeting a little bit, but you'll be able to shoot him instead of... Because normally if the hands respawn while his eyes are closed, you just have to kill the hand again.
Why he's known as Trolldan.
It's true.
But if she'd had the hook shot too, you can get some hits on the eyes with the hook shot, because it's just hit based versus the hands where there's actually like damage for them.
Yeah, the hands, the hook shot does less damage to the hands because the hook shot does less damage than an arrow. That's also why fire ice arrows work on the hands. A fire ice arrow does double damage of a normal arrow.
And speaking of the hook shot, that is very likely going to be her next stop.
Tanjo opting to just shoot out arrows. Tanjo not getting friendly with the snot arrow drops. There it is.
Yeah. Just mashing the bow like, hey, buddy, whenever you're ready.
Hey, Godin, look, I'm out of arrows. Don't you have something that could help me with that?
Aren't you allergic to this crap?
I heard you sniffling. You have a cold of arrows? Ban on top of Waterfall would also be a frustrating hammer, but I imagine the runners would check top of Waterfall before they would check Earth Temple for a hammer specifically.
Yeah.
And yeah, here's Tweety heading straight up to Eastern Fairy Island. I like how I talked about the 2 potential routes there for getting these checks, and then we saw the runners each one do one of them. I feel so validated in my analysis of Wind Waker.
All of the options that were available to both of them.
Yeah.
So this will help even up the overworld progression. Tanjo does have Bird's Peak, which was the Cabana Deed.
Yeah, Tanjo has that Cabana Deed, yeah.
Yeah, Tanjo can sail straight south from here, and just get that chest. Doesn't have to worry about leaving it for a potential Cabana break-in at any point.
He could also potentially do hammerless Cabana. I don't really like that play.
Yeah, it really never seems like it's worth it.
Yeah. Unless it would be like exactly your go mode could be in here and you might not need hammer anyway, then I could say you go for it, but I really wouldn't. I don't think he should. And instead he's opting to go to Tingle Island, pick up our, we got 3 Sphere 0 statues. We'll be picking up our Sphere 7 ankle. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we have the we have the hook shot too to get up there kind of quick. We'll see if it's deep enough. All right, it is required.
Fire ice, yeah, that's a very nice pickup.
Yeah, and we got the disco coral for the one of the side effects of all the custom sales. It's like something specifically about this island too. I feel like this is like the island that makes coral freak out the most. But I do think all we have left here are the fire and ice checks.
Fire and ice checks, Big Pig, Angular Cave, and some ET.
Yeah, Tanjo going to buy some arrows first.
And there's Tweety picking up those power bracelets, so we'll see. We'll see where she opts to go now that she has those. We have finished... Yeah, I was going to say we finished getting Windfall and Logic, and that's exactly where Tanjo is. All that's left is Creeb and the Transparent Chest. I didn't see if either runner peaked the Transparent Chest earlier.
Yeah, I don't recall it, but it didn't look like Tanjo was trying to shoot from the boat, which I feel like is what you would do if you knew Transparent or something.
Tanjo does also have Taji completed and a 3rd shard, so...
Yeah, we're basically even on progression at this point.
Yeah, Tweety's about to pick up her fire and ice right here, so... I'd say... The only thing Tanjo has over Tweety at this point in time is that Cabana Deed, and he checked Thorned Fairy, which we know was nothing, but...
But it's definitely something that you worry about, especially with Cliff Flat Dead. You're just like, when do I get these?
When do I get these? When do I get these? Please God, when do I get these? It's kind of that.
Yeah. Interesting that actually Tweety did not do Bird's Peak after doing Bomb Island.
I think she's waiting for Skullhammer, which would only punish her if Skullhammer's in BPR, which is possible.
Yeah.
But she would actually know. I think I think she would do that before dipping ET in this scenario, and all of her FF is out of logic without Skullhammer anyway. So if your plan is like, I want to be clearing my overworld before my dungeons, I actually don't hate it.
Yeah.
I think. And what's also really going to benefit Tweety, well, I say maybe really benefit, unless Skullhammer is top of Waterfall at Cabana, it would really hurt her. But we know Hammer can't be in Cabana. So, but literally, BPR is not locking her hammer that she might be waiting for. If it's top of Waterfall, that's kind of figuratively locking it, because she'd want to have Hammer there her first time anyway. So
we have, like, still continued divergence after Tachi, because Tweety's opted to go for Ice Ring, and Tanjo is now on his way to clean up Needle Rock.
Did Creeb or Transparent Chest have anything?
Neither had anything.
Man, what a bad day for the Becreebers.
Yeah, Becreebers in shambles. It's like, why did I even roll this seat? No Outset Fairy, no Creeb. Angular Peak was useless.
Looks like Ice Ring also with nothing.
Yeah, that's... We're getting close to the point where you have to really think about an ET dip. Because you can do half of the dungeon.
Not even without Skullhammer, you can't, like, not even.
You can do up through Kill All Floor Masters is dead, but I think you can get to 7 of 15.
There are right now without Skullhammer, there are 2 checks in ET and Logic.
Oh, because you can't get to right side.
If they are both small keys, then 3 more checks show up into Logic in left side, but there's no reason that they both have to be small keys. Like, you wouldn't know that before checking them.
Yeah.
Now, if you run out of things in the overworld, like you full clear your overworld, then they have to be small keys. But I think before dipping ET, I don't think you want to bet that they're both just small keys and left side's actually in Logic right now.
Between the two of them, we have almost seen all of the overworld. I think Top of Waterfall is still out there.
Top of Waterfall and Big Pig.
Yeah. And yeah, when you sail the outset to do Big Pig, you're committed to going into ET at that point.
I think so, yeah.
And it's not necessarily the end of the world, because you can use the cross dungeon pot with FF. If you do as much as you can without the hammer, then you know, like, if the hammer's not there. But it feels like at this point it basically has to be. But
well, yeah, I mean, they're at a point, their hammer absolutely cannot be in ET. It absolutely cannot be inside Cabana. Absolutely cannot be in FF. Their hammer can be in ET, but I think by the time they'd learn hammer is in ET, they'd be out of things to do.
yeah.
And I think it was Blank Zai in the chat earlier said maybe the worst location is Ghost Ship chart on ET left side with hammer in Ghost Ship, and I agree. Yeah. That is kind of their worst possible hammer at this point. It's also possible, like, ET's first chest is a key, and then the Floor Master room, the one without killing all of them, is the hammer. Mm-hmm. And then the right side chests, then one of those becomes a key and stuff. So there's definitely some wonky logic that can happen in ET based on if the hammer's in there.
Yeah, I started to, like, kind of write it out a couple weeks ago when Claire was working on some of the ET routing stuff about, like, what are the possible key layouts that you can get in ET. I think that's what makes it, in my opinion, the most interesting dungeon in the rando. It's just there's so much optionality, there's so much organic routing that you have to do.
I agree. I agree there, and figuring out when you get ET, I think, is the dungeon that can have the most wonky logic behind it based on small keys, because like other dungeons, the small keys are usually not terribly interesting. Like Wind Temple, it's just the small keys are anywhere except 2 checks that are both locked by both of them. Dragon Roost Cavern, it's like One of them can be in the big key chest right now, but other than that, they're all kind of in the same set of checks, and
even that's going away, which is unfortunate.
potentially there's also work on some like logic difficulty sliders, so it might be in just some harder difficulty settings.
Yeah. It's definitely, I think, the thing that makes DRC more interesting is the options you have with the bow and the ability to suss out like a small key on big key chest. Yeah, what could be interesting is how you weigh the risk reward of, you know, out of everything that's hinted foolish, Cabana had a higher weight than like anything that got picked. So there could be something inside Cabana. It could be one of our overworld shards if this chest up here is dead.
I will say the problem, I mean, this chest has something and peeking this chest is free, but the issue though is like all our foolish hints for like islands with what, 1 check?
Yeah.
Something. Route 1 versus Route 3 is not the biggest difference, and there just is our hammer.
Yeah. Just the key under the doormat.
True. Not quite as funny as the delivery bag or cabana deed in that chest, but there is our hammer. So we're out of the silly, like, where could it, if it's an ET, where is it? Yada, yada, yada. Deed was on Bird's Peak Rock, so that's actually even worse for Lyric.
Tweety.
Now, so yeah, sorry, Tweety. I read Lyric's in chat. I read Lyric's name in chat as I was talking. That's even worse for Tweety. Now, a heads-up play here from Tweety could be saving before opening this chest, just in case it's the hammer. In which case, you could reload that save and then store it to go into Cabana. That could be a very heads-up play.
The power move of just like, I'm just going to blind store this and break in. The Lord will provide.
That would be a power move. I don't know if she's willing to take that. She's doing the power move.
This is why I said that these are my 2 favorite players.
Oh my god, what a play. What a read.
Oh, I love this. I love it so much.
Oh, she just canceled her storage. Never mind.
It
would have been so sweet. Tweety, please save. Tweety, please. You can do it. No! Oh, it would have been... She was so close to getting, like, the play.
So close to glory.
Yeah. But she is going straight to FF along with Tanjo. Yeah. Tanjo did get that shard, so we know Tweety will have to come back. Which is, you know, in her shoes, I might be like, well, maybe I can never come back.
Yeah.
Maybe Deed's just foolish, and I saved myself a Cabana trip.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was that shard in the lower chest. So we do know she'll have to come back before she can go to Hyrule.
Yeah, and we are now looking for just 2 shards and our last bow, and 2 swords.
2 shards, 2 swords, and a bow. Yeah, we've only gotten the 1 sword. But they're in a dungeon now, and dungeons have a lot of checks. Oh, there's something down here for Tanjo. Is it the bottle?
Did not opt to store it, so we do have
a sword.
The Cabana Deed was at Bird's Peak. Now that Tweety has the hammer, she's going to be much more enticed to go to Bird's Peak and Thorned.
Yeah, and I'm sure she was waiting on Bird's Peak, hoping for the hammer to go check Thorned too.
There's a shard.
There's one of our shards, yeah, and I don't think there was anything in the jail. Oh, there's something in the lower jail. I'm insane. Oh, there's nothing in the lower jail. Nope. Tanjo's leaving it. All right, I'm not insane. I'm very much sane.
Tanjo with the jukes. Sorry, I think I was a little bit ahead of you, so I just refreshed.
It's okay. So yeah, it looks like we're just looking for 1 shard, 1 sword, and 1 bow. But, you know, with E.T., who knows where that bow is?
Yeah, we will have the very common, like, last bow on left side.
Oh, I'm thinking it's 1 shard on Arrow Mail, 1 sword in E.T. Stalfos mini-boss, and 1 bow on Baito Mail.
Ooh.
That's my guess. That's a really specific guess, so I'm probably going to get let down. Also, Tweety opting to do the kind of any % chest storage route here.
Yeah, this is something that you don't see like a ton. But yeah, with PG hinted dead.
And she, you know, got it very quickly, very clean.
Yeah. Really nicely done.
Let's not jinx her. Hold on. She still has to get up here. There she goes. Okay, she got it very quickly, very clean.
This is one of those seeds, kind of like the one that I played too, where I wonder about, like, you know, doing the mother and child super swim in and just like killing the bird and then coming back for the other things.
I really don't like it this seed, just since what we were waiting on was hammer.
Mm-hmm.
If you're waiting on bombs, I could kind of see like, I don't want to dive in. I don't want to use the cannons outside to break in. But like with hammer, you can just warp straight here and check everything and then do the boss anyway.
Yeah. It's really awkward having Phantom being dead. You're usually so reliant on that chest to get up here.
Well, it's funny. It's you know, back in before CTMC, you routed FF hoping Phantom was dead, just hoping you could skip him and not on the chest. So it's kind of, you know, we saw Tanjo doing that where he leaps to the ladder. That was the old, like, that was the dream route you'd get in FF back before chest type matches contents.
Yeah, or back in the days of like maps and compasses being in the pool.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why. Sorry. We added maps and compasses to our starting items because of chest type matches contents. I guess I didn't explain that very well. And so when Phantom Ganon could be a map or a compass, and you could know to skip him if you did him last, the route was always just hope to skip him.
Yeah. I wonder if we are going to see the hot new fire arrow strats. Neither runner has the bow equipped.
So I'd guess no.
Yeah, it does not look to be the case for Tanjo. Setting up the spins.
Yep.
So pretty fast.
Yep, and that is a dead helm rock. Yeah, where it just shows you the wall.
It's just, yeah, or the camera angle of the head just like launching back into your screen.
Oh god, listen to Tetra. The Tetra's falling noise was... Whoa! That is Tanjo picking up his 6th shard there on Helmrock. Alright, what does Tanjo... Tanjo has Western Ferry and Big Pig left in the overworld, really. And then that Arrow Mail and Baito Mail. Oh, and Ghost Ship, but no Ghost Ship chart, so who cares about Ghost Ship?
He's left the hammer equipped, so I'm wondering if we're going to see Western Ferry, which is the same equipped though.
I imagine, I don't know why he just save warps. He save warps to get out of FF,
okay.
I guess. I don't know if that's faster.
Yeah, I don't know either, but... yeah, I agree with this. You want to cut down the... You're going to risk the time here for the potential to save significantly more in ET.
Also, this is... When you're not doing the Western swim, and especially when you have Forsaken Fortress, this is like when you plan to route in this check, because
yeah,
you're close enough to it at Forsaken Fortress, and you know you'll have hammer because you would have just used it to kill Helmrock. So
Yeah, and this is the last overworld check. So you get
yeah.
this, you get Big Pig, and then when you find your last thing in ET, you're done.
I also think there's not much. Well, actually, he could have this, Big Pig, and Arrow Mail be all three of his last things.
Yeah.
Could just be an empty ET, unhinted, double magic in there somewhere, maybe.
It would be. Seems unlikely, but it's the dream.
Yeah.
Who can fault Tanjo for being an optimist?
All right. Well, we'll see. Will he be clearing any of ET? It's possible no, still. Let's see. He will be clearing some of ET at least, as that is not anything. Oh no, Tweety got blown up by the barrels on her way to Western Ferry.
That can definitely happen. You're
it's
looking at your tracker.
It's also so annoying in Randomizer where we have the Swift Sail because the Coral stays, like, he maintains his speed when you get hit, so he just zooms past.
Yeah. He's happy to not be carrying around your dead weight anymore.
This is actually, whenever there's barrels in the way, I hate sail jumping, and I'd prefer to just sail pump, because if you jump and a barrel comes up, like, where you're gonna land, that's it. That's it for you. So when you're sail pumping, at least, like, if you're like vigilantly watching, you can be like, break with the Wind Waker. I'm gonna see Arrow Mail first here from Tweety, but Tanjo gonna pick it up very soon. And there is our last sword. Right. So, we could potentially have Big Pig with something, and then like the first chest of ET having something. If Big Pig has either the shard or the bow, the most annoying thing for our last check is if it's behind Baito Mail.
Yeah, basically as soon as Tanjo finishes this, if it is not lights or the shard, I guess we'll just open a quick bet for lights. So you'll have about 60 seconds to launch your locations in the chat for...
Unless Big Pig has lights.
Yeah, and in which case I'll change it to the shard.
That's fair. I would say I think Tanjo's ahead right now. Tweety's like right behind him in this chain of things they're doing, but Tweety still has to go get her Cabana deed from Bird's Peak Rock and go into Cabana to get her last shard. So I think Tanjo definitely has a lead right now.
All right, we will open it super quick, and I'm going to close it as soon as Tanjo enters ET. So get your bets in now, D-Gens.
And yeah, we're seeing Tweety head to Earth Temple here, which actually not even checking Big Pig.
Yeah, it's committing to the dungeons. Tweety has taken dungeons literally as soon as they've been available, so it's pretty consistent.
Yeah. Well, and we know, luckily, she has nothing on Big Pig, but because she will need to go get that Cabana deed and the shard in Cabana, it's this dungeon play won't work out as well as it could have, potentially.
Yeah, I don't see, like, we know that the shard and the lights are going to be in here, but I don't see Tweety stopping after one shard and lights.
Yeah. I think that would be a wild gamble, especially because it's like she still doesn't have Cabana deed and she doesn't know if she might need it, and then she might be hoping to just skip BPR Thorned at this point, so
yeah, it's I think in Season 6 dungeon rushing is really, really good.
I think there's kind of this myth that in Wind Waker it's like always full clear your overworld and then do dungeons, which is a decent strategy for routing. I think the challenge of Wind Waker is learning, when do I want to rush dungeons? Like, what positions do I want to be in? Because in some other randos, going straight to your dungeons as soon as they're available is just kind of always the play. Whereas I think in Wind Waker, there's a lot of nuance to it of like, is it worth rushing this dungeon right now, or can I clear out some other overworlds to maybe make the dungeon faster?
Yeah, and at this point, there's really lights are the only thing that would make ET faster for you, and it's really not uncommon for lights to end up inside this dungeon.
Yeah.
There's also always like a bunch of seeds where it's like, oh yeah, go to your basement for the logical second bow to get like the logical third off left side. Like,
I've not seen that. That's wild. That one's small key dependent though.
Yeah, that one happened in at least one of the quals.
Tweety had a little bit of trouble with that leaf pump, so opting to just play command melody with medley instead. Both runners having issues with the trick and then opting for command melody, just at different parts. It's kind of a metaphorical way they've held hands this seed versus all the times they have actually held hands.
This is all the literal physical hand holds.
Yeah, it's... Tweety with the randomized enemy colors. This room can always be so annoying because you're like, wait, which chew are you again?
Yeah, this is really the one reason why I don't like the randomized enemy color.
Yeah, if you don't know exactly where the chew spawns or like what exactly their behavior is, when their colors change, it can be especially if their colors like basically swap. Like, have you ever had if you play with randomized colors enough, you'll get to ones where it's like the green chews look pretty red and the red chews look pretty green. And it's just like, wait, hold on, where am I?
So we did get a small key, and we have a spiky over here, which Tanjo is going to opt to store. And I think that might be a wrap on medley for Tanjo.
Yeah, definitely, at least for now.
Yeah.
I imagine if he eventually has to go to the basement, we'll see her again, but... Hello, bird. Goodbye, bird.
Yeah, probably gonna go take a look at the middle chest, and then go on from there.
And that honestly is why Medley is my favorite compared to Makar. Makar, you gotta use him all the time. Medley, you're like, all right, you helped me in this one area. I'll see you later. And she's like, cool, I don't have to go plant any trees for you or anything. She just chills at the start of the dungeon, drinking her chocolate milk.
A quiet quitting icon.
Exactly. Oh, and we're gonna know exactly what Tanjo stored there. Tweety opting to open it instead of store it.
Close enough. Everyone else bet the back and left side of ET.
Oh, that's another key for Tanjo. We don't necessarily know what kind of key it is. Since there was that first chest being a key. And Tanjo getting out of the room. We had the kill all hinted dead, so...
We don't have to do it. We really only need one more key to open up like the mini boss if we even have to do that check. So we can leave a small key there.
Yeah. Well, and since we know that first chest is a key chest, and we've checked right side already, we know either that first chest is a small key or a big key. If it's the big key, there's a small key on left side. If it's a small key, then you have a small key.
Yeah. But we're going to see a kind of approximation of the go mode ET.
Yeah. Really, the only difference there was checking right side and checking the floor master room and having a small key to open that small key door there.
Yeah.
But it's he's still taking this one storage most of the way through the dungeon here, so.
And Tanjo is going for the gamble peak, and we do see a spiky.
I really like that gamble peak that way, because you see that chest on the way, so if it's nothing, you can just keep going, that's where you'd be. If it's if it is something, you would run up the Songstone to Void anyway. So we'll see that, but we'll see, is that going to be his shard? We probably won't know until he picks up the shard from Jalhalla, I imagine.
Yeah, he hasn't updated his personal tracker, but he has moved his cursor over the bow, so I think he may be aware that he has the lights. And
I
this
also
could be
think
the last thing he needs.
I also think he knows he's looking for 2 items for Go Mode. There isn't a ton of bait left. Like, bait that's left in the seed. A wallet, a magic, ghost ship chart. Okay, there's more bait than I thought. But he knows this is his second spiky chest being stored, and I think he actually he might have seen the lights after voiding and equipping
Yeah, he didn't mark it on his tracker, which, like,
equipping.
I don't really fault him. I barely, like, keep up with my own tracker, so...
Yeah. Well, and also, though, he could wait to mark it, like, during a cutscene in Jalhalla or something.
Yeah.
Tweety opting to kill all 4 masters because she needed the chest storage. Ooh, Tanjo low on magic, but he should have enough to make it. Yeah. Whew. Now this one is the very low on magic. Okay. Didn't get that, like, roll where he hops way farther forward, where he'd be a lot tighter.
Yeah. Yeah,
Does
he's
see
definitely
he has
aware.
the lights. Yeah. Just equipped him.
And we will... I didn't see anything else on his menu. I didn't see, like, the 3rd bottle. We haven't seen double magic pop up, so we will...
Yeah.
we'll
Definitely
know.
wasn't a magic. Definitely wasn't a bow. Could have been ghost ship chart.
Could have been. When the boss dies and we pick up the shard, we may find out that we are in go mode.
Yeah.
I think it's a fairly safe assumption at this point.
I think, you know, there's a little bit of bait. We've already seen where most of it would be, which would have been Iron Boots, Magic, Wallet, the last bottle, which, again, if all 4 bottles are in Logic, that's insane. Only 1 is guaranteed. And so the fact that we found 2 and had a 3rd one hinted, pretty wild.
Yeah, this is the moment of truth.
Yeah, and a pretty clean Jalhalla fight from Tanjo there. Looks like he got some good bomb explosions on those redeads. Tweety, oh wow, Tweety's health is so low. Tweety's magic is so low. Oh no.
Yeah, this is pretty spooky.
This is Tweety.
Oh, she's having
Tweety,
enough.
go back and bounce. Go back and bounce. No.
Oh, we have to get the bird.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. And yeah. Okay, Tweety, no, don't walk through that door. Just save warp. Oh no, Tweety, don't walk through that door.
Oh, don't.
No, Tweety, no.
No.
Oh,
that's
no. That is a soft lock.
Yeah, Tweety is stuck because she can't
you
finish
have to
this
just
walking animation.
you have to just soft reset, and wherever she last saved is where she's gonna be. I don't know where she last saved.
Yeah. That's 3 shards. Oh no, she wiped out FF.
No.
She wiped out the entirety of FF.
Oh no.
That is tragic.
Yeah, this is before she has hammer.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it was already a really, really tight road for Tweety to get back into this race, and I think that has all but killed the chances.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate. It had been so long since she saved.
Yeah, that is an absolute backbreaker, and it just is absolutely terrible. And
Yeah.
everybody that runs this game has done exactly this.
The good news for Tweety, she does know she can store this chest to go into Cabana now,
Yeah.
where she will find a shard. Actually, her last shard, she saw that she had a shard from that chest in Earth Temple.
Yeah.
If she stores this and goes in Cabana, she would know exactly where her go mode is, but she has to do, like, there's a sword in FF, there's Helm Rock. That is really unfortunate.
Yeah. And Tanjo has broken the barrier. Going to be on his way to PG, but the important thing to remember too is that this is a 3-game set. So this is a really unfortunate outcome here, but this is not the end of the tournament, and there is the opportunity to reset the series. And I believe Game 2 is actually tomorrow night.
It was really, really close for a lot of it. You know, Tanjo got a little bit of a lead by finding that Cabana deed at BPR early, but he was really not that far ahead for a lot of it. So it was very, very close, with just one little difference in their routing really helping Tanjo out before that very tragic soft lock.
Yeah, there's really no reason to think after watching this race that Tweety does not have the potential to force a Game 3.
Oh, 100%. I think she absolutely can whenever they play their Game 2. Do we know when that is?
I think it's actually tomorrow. I think it's actually a little over 24 hours from now. So we will keep you posted and hopefully have it here somewhere on the ZSR family of brands. The only way to know for sure is to follow and turn on notifications for all 4 channels.
Can
I have my money now, Trez?
Trez is like, what money?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna see Phantom Ganon dead here from Tanjo. Only time we're gonna see him killed this seed, I think.
Yep.
Definitely not in FF ever.
Yeah, Tweety may choose to play it out. May be over it at this point, understandably, and
I honestly respect continuing to go. If I had soft reset in ET and appeared before FF, I would have immediately DNF'd, said no to an interview, and gone to sleep.
Yeah.
So
I need to go drink 4 to 5 beers. So bye, everyone.
It's like I'm not. I would have been like, I'm not doing the interview. No one talk to me for the rest of the day, please.
Yeah, I love you all, but please go to hell.
So, you know, I really respect the going. All right, well, let's go find the rest of my items.
Yeah, it's not over till it's over. You never know if your opponent has also suffered some sort of tragedy. But into the final boss before the
final boss before the final boss.
Yeah.
Actually, does this really count? Would you consider all of Puppet Ganon to be one boss, or you could split them into 3 bosses that you fight one after another?
Yeah, I'd say PG1 is really the last thing. Everything else.
PG1 is the final boss of Wind Waker. Everything else is the epilogue.
Yeah, exactly. It's the where are they now? And for PG2, it's directly over your head. But nicely done for Tanjo.
Tweety got into that really obnoxious bed hitbox there. If you roll when you land, just tries to trap you.
Oh. Tanjo's gonna need to refill his magic. Ran himself.
He has soup in 2 bottles. Tweety going for this any route through FF again. She got it super clean her first try.
Yeah.
We'll see. Okay. Are we getting double crip here from Tanjo, do you think? What are the...
I think he's going to do it.
Okay. Well...
I don't think he's going to do it.
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can change your prediction after the fact. I don't know that that's.
I mean, who's gonna stop me, right? I can just end the stream. So
it's like doing betting on horses, and then after the race, going to the bookie like, can I change my bet, please?
Yeah. Oh, number 4 to show. I'm in number 5.
Yeah.
What's your take backsies policy?
I Do you think how many times do you think you could ask that before you get kicked out of a casino in Vegas?
Yeah. What's your rule on whoopsie daisies?
I thought everyone gets one oopsie. Was that not true?
I didn't read the fine print.
A man stopped me on the street and handed me a flyer that said everyone gets one. But
that is PG-3 down for tangent.
Those mini blins got flattened. Tanjo duping some soup before his rope climb, just in case he jumps off.
Yeah, mashing his way all the way up. Swap over to Tanjo's audio for that sweet Ganon music.
Very high climb there from Tanjo. He made it really far up that rope. All right, into final Ganon here from Tanjo. Will Ganon troll us as we try to just hit the barrier? Nope, no trolling.
Will we learn that at some point we stored Hurricane Spin?
You know, it's funny when you think Phase 1 of Puppet Ganon is clearly the hardest, and Phase 1 of Ganon is... Once you learn that you can just not move and Zelda will shoot him, it's maybe the easiest boss fight in the game, is Phase 1 of Ganon.
Yeah, I thought someone was trolling. They were like, yeah, the trick is to just not touch your controller. And it's like, yeah, it's actually true.
If you do literally nothing, then Phase 1 is incredibly consistent at the start of it. And that is GG's to Tanjo the Third. A final time of 1:53.58.
We will also have both runners joining us here. But welcome in, Tanjo. GG's.
Welcome on in.
Yeah, Tanjo, what were your thoughts on the seed?
I thought it was okay. I thought I was playing mostly well, but it was still like, 150. So I don't know what happened. Well, I know partly what happened. My Tachi was atrocious.
I think also what happened was a really weird Skullhammer spot.
Yeah. It was pretty weird routing. I just kind of went places.
Yeah, the seed was weirdly bottlenecked in like a couple spots.
Yeah, like the Note to Mom, bombs, and the leaf. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Welcome on in, Tweety. GG's.
Hi, thanks.
GG's.
Yeah, this felt like a bit like a tragedy.
Yeah, it was. I was so upset. I was like, no, please save.
Yeah,
but
we were, please don't open the door, and then you drank the soup, and we're like, oh no.
That's one of those mistakes I think everyone has made. I know I have. I've seen a lot of people do that. It's just not the best race for it to happen. But luckily, it was only game 1.
Yeah, that's true. And the rest of the race wasn't exactly going great either, so it's all good.
We saw the two of you were actually kind of like side by side through a lot of the dungeons. Tanjo had cleared a little bit more of the overworld, but the dungeons, the two of you were running, basically side by side through most of them.
Yeah, for the most part, it was a very, very close race. Right
was
up
it
until
really?
Yeah.
I know it never
Tanjo,
feels like in the moment too, and then you can watch it back later.
Yeah, especially because I had a lot of problems. Just like I felt like a lot of the basic things were like so difficult today. so it just felt a little off.
Yeah. Tanjo ended up being a little bit ahead because he got kind of lucky and went to BPR pretty early and found Cabana Deed in there, and there was a shard in Cabana.
I don't know what happened there because I went to Bomb Island, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to BPR, and then I thought I went, but I don't think I ever did. I think I just left, so I wasn't sure if I had gone or not.
We were also So Tanjo found that Cabana Deed and did Cabana, and there was a shard down there. And when you got storage on Cabana, I know everyone in ZSR chat was like, "Oh my god, she's gonna do it! Read."
I thought about it. I was like, "What if that's Hammer?" But I wasn't brave enough, unfortunately.
And like I said, it was very close. If you had done that, it would have been even closer, just because he wouldn't have had that shard on you. So. Yeah. It was a very close race all the way through, right up until...
That's surprising to hear, actually.
Yeah, the two of you basically entered Earth Temple at the same time. I think that was the last time we saw y'all really holding hands like that closely. It was a fantastic race. Really, really looking forward to Game 2 tomorrow.
How did you feel like the seed went, Tanjo?
I thought I played pretty well. I think most of my storages were pretty good. Definitely trolled a little bit in Earth Temple, or not Earth Temple, in Tower of the Gods. It was a bit of a tiny disaster in there. And then Forest Haven backwards.
I had a lot of trouble. I went backwards, and you have to go through the bulbs. I think I fell like 3 times trying to get up to the leaf, and then I also failed the cyclone to get the island chest. So I was just, I don't know what was happening.
Yeah. You both just kind of traded off like some issues. Like Tweety, you struggled in the floating platforms room, and Tanjo had some struggles with the second statue command melody skip, and they ended up kind of balancing out like with each other during the run.
Can you actually make that leaf grab? Because I wasn't sure. I always have hook shot. I wasn't really sure what to do.
In the floating platforms room?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can. I think you have to leaf bump on your way over.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to kind of curve it a little bit too.
And then timing the grab is kind of the hardest part. So.
Yeah, when I tuned in to the restream, it looked like it was a close race, and then I saw that you reset, unfortunately. What I assumed to be at least Forsaken Fortress. So, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's alright. Thought about my mouse was over the forfeit button. But I was like, alright, I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah, kudos to you. That's nice to be on the verge of tears.
I was in the midst of a mental breakdown, but I have recovered. It's all good.
I feel like that's the tournament race experience, is like 2 hours of a mental breakdown until one of you finish.
It's actually surprising because the first bit, like the first 20-30 minutes, I was feeling pretty good. And then it's like a curse fell upon the land, and I was really struggling.
A lot of this race was actually really, really fun to watch because one, like you both kind of struggled at different points, but with similar style things. So you kind of evened out each other with that. But then you also would regularly both go off to do different things, converge on one check, and then you'd go do what the other person did. So it was really fascinating to watch. Like, one of my favorite examples was Tanjo, you got that pearl on Manenko, and then went to Paw Print, Eastern Fairy, Tower of the Gods. Tweety, you got that pearl on Manenko, went to Tower of the Gods, Eastern Fairy, Paw Print.
Oh, so interesting.
Yeah, it was a very interesting, like, you're doing all the same things in kind of different orders and meeting up at one point, and it was very fun to watch.
Yeah, basically right at the start, you just split to completely different directions, and then just kind of continue to converge on each other and just go back and forth.
Cool. That's good.
Which is always super fun when you watch back a race like that and see the other approach. 'Cause I'm sure it's probably things that you were considering too at the time as you're routing options. But yeah, like we said, this is the first game of a 3-game set. Game 2 is actually tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, so 25 and a half hours from now. We will hopefully be able to bring this to you. It looks like it's actually the only thing on the ZSR schedule for tomorrow. So, and then later on this week, we have some more Challenge Cup action. Cindy and Space Rock are going to be playing their Game 2. That's going to be Thursday at 6:30 Eastern, as well as a couple MMR matches popping off on Thursday. Dodo versus Zabi, Vidya versus Painapple. Those will be happening on Thursday afternoon as well. And then just keep it tuned here because as the weekend comes, more and more matches hit. We are in lower bracket round 1, and I think winners bracket round 2 is wrapping up right now. So there's still a lot of Wind Waker to be played. But with that, the only other people I see playing Wind Waker right now are actually in a tournament race. So Symphonic Link and Artemis Myths are playing their Challenge Cup series back to back. They are in Game 2 of that. But I guess we are going to go watch a little bit of OOT. So we are going to send you over to Froppy, who is playing the Scrub Settings. That is another tournament that is going on right now, a beginner OOT tournament that I believe Tanjo is an alumni of. So we'll send you over to some OT and hopefully be back tomorrow. But with that, good night, everyone.
Good night. GG's.
Thanks, you too. See you tomorrow.